Nothing happens by chance. That's not just an old saying. It's a law. A deep, invisible current flowing beneath every event in your life and in the universe itself. Think about it. Why did you meet that one person at that exact moment? Why did that thought strike you out of nowhere, only to unfold into a life-altering decision? Why do certain patterns keep repeating again and again, no matter how hard you try to break them? You see, behind every moment, every word, emotion, and outcome, there is a cause. And behind that cause, another, stretching back through time like a golden thread, linking the stars above to the choices you make below. This is not random. This is not chaos. This is the principle of cause and effect, one of the 7 Hermetic laws found in the Kybalion, an ancient text whispered through time by mystics and initiates. It teaches that every cause has its effect, and every effect has its cause. Nothing escapes this law, not you, not I, not even the gods. In this video, we will trace this law through the mystery schools of Egypt and the fires of ancient Greece. We'll uncover how it governs not only the fall of empires but also the tiniest thoughts in your mind. And more importantly, we'll discover how to work with this law, instead of being ruled by it. Because once you awaken to this hidden law, you no longer drift through life like a leaf on the wind. You become the wind. Long before science gave us laws of motion or theories of relativity, the ancient sages already understood a deeper truth, that nothing in the universe happens without a reason. From the swirl of galaxies to the flicker of a candle, all is guided by unseen forces, chains of cause stretching back through eternity. In the sacred scrolls of Hermeticism, this understanding was passed down through generations, veiled in symbols and hidden behind temple walls. One of the core texts of this wisdom is the Kybalion, a mysterious book published in 1908 but rooted in teachings that go back to ancient Egypt. Teachings attributed to Hermes Trismegistus, the legendary figure said to be a fusion of the Greek god Hermes and the Egyptian god Thoth. Hermes was called the scribe of the gods, the keeper of secrets, and the master of divine law. His teachings were not for the masses, they were preserved for those ready to see beyond illusion. To those who sought understanding, not just information, the principle of cause and effect, as outlined in the Kybalion, proclaims: every cause has its effect, every effect has its cause, everything happens according to law. Chance is but a name for law not recognized. This wasn't just poetic philosophy. It was a framework for reality. The Hermetic masters taught that even what appears to be random is simply a web of causes too complex for us to see. What we call luck, or coincidence, is actually law in disguise. This law also found echoes in the East. In Hinduism and Buddhism, it is known as karma, the belief that all actions have consequences, whether in this life or the next. In the Taoist tradition, it is the flow of the Tao, the way of natural balance and unfolding. Even modern science, in its own language, bows to this law. Newton's laws of motion declare that every action has an equal and opposite reaction. And chaos theory shows us that even the flap of a butterfly's wings can cause a storm on the other side of the world, if we trace the effects far enough. Yet the mystics went even deeper. They taught that you yourself are both cause and effect, not merely reacting to life, but constantly generating it. Your thoughts ripple into your emotions. Your emotions give birth to actions. And your actions reshape the very fabric of your destiny. To understand this law is to wake up. To not understand it is to remain a pawn in someone else's game. Imagine life as a vast, intricate tapestry. Every thread woven through it, every joy, every sorrow, every twist of fate, is not there by accident. Each is the result of a cause, a spark that sets something in motion. And that spark? It might have been a choice you made or didn't make. A thought, a word, a silent intention that echoed louder than thunder through the halls of reality. This is the power of the principle of cause and effect. It declares, nothing happens without a cause. And nothing you do is without consequence. Let's make it simple. Drop a pebble into a still pond. What happens? Ripples. Now imagine dropping a thought into the still pond of your mind. Same thing. Ripples. That thought stirs emotion. That emotion leads to action. And that action changes your world, or someone else's. A careless word spoken in anger may damage a friendship. A kind gesture in passing may change a stranger's day, or their entire life. In this web of causes and effects, you are never not participating. Even your silence causes. Even your passivity creates. This law does not stop when you ignore it. Like gravity, it's always working, whether you're aware of it or not. But here's the crucial secret. Most people live on the level of effects. They react. They complain. They say, "Why is this happening to me?" But the Hermetic masters taught that the wise rise to the level of causes. They ask, "What am I setting in motion?" They do not just feel emotions. They investigate their origins. They do not just take action. They understand why they are acting. In this way, the principle of cause and effect becomes not just a law to obey, but a tool to wield. Think of a master archer. The beginner blames the wind, the bow, the target. But the master knows every shot is shaped by their own hand, their stance, their breath, their focus. So it is with your life. The principle does not say you control everything. It says that within your realm of choice, your thoughts, your attitude, your intention, you are constantly generating causes. And those causes, in time, come back as experiences, relationships, opportunities, challenges, lessons, sometimes quickly, sometimes lifetimes later, but always with precision. The universe does not forget. It balances, harmonizes, remembers. The Kybalion puts it clearly. The masses of people are carried along, obedient to environment, the wills and desires of others stronger than themselves, but the masters rise to the plane above and dominate their moods, characters, qualities, and powers as well as the environment surrounding them. To become a master is to stop being tossed around by life's effects and to begin shaping causes with intention, wisdom, and depth. Let us now go deeper, beneath the surface ripples, into the ocean floor of this law. At first glance, cause and effect appears linear, simple. You push the domino, it falls. Action, reaction. But beneath this simplicity is a hidden symmetry, a kind of divine intelligence at play. Think of karma, often misunderstood as cosmic punishment or reward. But in Hermeticism, it's not moral, it's mechanical. Not good versus bad, but resonance. Like strings on a harp vibrating in harmony. What you send out energetically, through thought, feeling, or deed, returns to you as experiences that match your vibration. Not as a judgment, but as a mirror. This is why the mystics say, "As within, so without." If you sow fear, you reap anxiety. If you plant seeds of gratitude, your world blooms in unexpected beauty. What you believe, deeply and consistently, becomes the stage upon which your life unfolds. But here's where the paradox emerges. Most causes are invisible, the real ones in essence. By the time something shows up in your outer world, it has already passed through multiple layers of creation. Conscious thought, subconscious belief, emotional energy, physical outcome. So when you try to change your life only at the surface, by forcing external change without addressing the internal patterns, you're trimming leaves instead of pulling roots. And most people? They're reacting to fruits they themselves planted long ago, wondering why nothing tastes sweet. But the Hermetic initiate learns to trace each experience backward, like a trail of breadcrumbs, to find its source. They do not curse the storm, they study the clouds. This is where the true power lies, not in controlling the effect, but in mastering the cause. If you want different results, you must sow different thoughts. If you want to change your destiny, you must change the invisible patterns driving your decisions. Now let's address the great illusion, chance. How often do we say, "That just happened? That was bad luck. It's just the way things are." But the Kybalion is ruthless in its clarity. Chance is but a name for law not recognized. There is no such thing as chance. Let that sink in. What you call random is simply a complexity of causes too vast for your conscious mind to perceive. You didn't see the roots, so you call the fruit a surprise. But nature wastes nothing. The law always functions whether you believe in it or not. This can sound intimidating, even unfair. But in truth, it is liberating. Because if life is not random, if you are not a victim of luck or fate, then you can become a co-creator. Not of everything, but of far more than you've been taught. You may not choose every wave that comes, but you can learn to surf them or still them if you've mastered the rhythm. Cause and effect is not a cold law. It is an invitation, a sacred responsibility. You are not a puppet. You are a pattern maker. You are not merely the effect of your past. You are the cause of your future. Now that we've lifted the veil and seen the law at work, the real question becomes, how do I live this truth? Because understanding the principle of cause and effect is not enough. You must embody it. You must become a conscious cause in a world of unconscious effects. Here are 4 mystical yet practical ways to do just that. 1. Master the moment of thought. Before any action, before any word, there is a thought. Catch it, shape it. Make it a daily practice to observe your thoughts as if you were standing outside of them. Ask, is this thought something I wish to create more of? Because it will plant seeds. In your mood, in your body, in your relationships. When negative thoughts arise, and they will, don't battle them. Simply redirect the stream. Like a gardener pulling weeds and planting better seeds. 2. Choose response over reaction. The masses live in reflex. Someone says something harsh, they explode. The situation goes wrong, they collapse. But the initiate pauses, breathes, and responds. This space, between stimulus and response, is where mastery is born. Practice it daily. When someone cuts you off in traffic, when you receive bad news, don't just react. Witness. Then choose a response that reflects your higher self, not your lower habits. 3. Trace the thread backward. Whenever you face a challenge, ask, what earlier thought, belief, or choice may have led here? This is not to blame yourself. It's to reclaim your authorship. Like a spiritual detective, follow the trail. Often, what appears to be misfortune is simply the delayed echo of an earlier cause. A forgotten belief, a silent fear, an old wound still sending ripples through time. This kind of inner inquiry turns every problem into a portal of awakening. 4. Become a conscious cause. Each morning, ask yourself, what kind of ripple do I want to send into the world today? Then act from that place. Smile at a stranger. Speak life into someone's dream. Do the one thing you've been postponing. Small, intentional acts often create massive waves, far beyond what you'll ever see. The most powerful causes don't scream. They whisper. And yet, their effects roll through time like thunder. Ritual suggestion. Try this for 7 days. Every night, reflect on one effect you experienced that day, good or bad. Then, journal the likely cause within you. A belief, a decision, a mood, or an action. Write one shift you'll make tomorrow to create a different effect. This practice slowly reawakens your creative authority and trains your awareness to live from cause rather than react to effect. You don't have to control everything, but you must choose what you are seeding, because whether you realize it or not, you are always planting something. The wind does not ask permission before it moves the leaves. The tide does not apologize as it crashes on the shore. So too, the law of cause and effect moves, quietly, precisely, shaping every corner of your life, whether you notice it or not. But today, you've noticed. And that changes everything. You are no longer just an effect. You are a cause in human form. With each thought, you strike the bell of reality. With each word, you write invisible code into the matrix of your life. With each choice, you set worlds in motion. The ancients didn't teach these truths to scare or burden us. They taught them to awaken us, to help us remember that we are not victims of fate, but vessels of power. So let this be your quiet revolution. Walk through life with eyes open. Speak with awareness. Think as though the universe is listening, because it is. What you do today is not small. What you think right now is not forgotten. You are the ripple. You are the stone. You are the hand that chooses where to cast it. And so I leave you with this. He who understands this principle has grasped the scepter of power. The Kybalion. Grasp it, wield it, and shape the life only you were born to create. In our next episode, we'll explore the seventh and final Hermetic principle, the one that binds all others like a golden thread. The principle of gender. It's not what you think, and it may just be the key to unlocking your full spiritual potential. If this message stirred something within you, share it, reflect on it, return to it, and don't forget to subscribe, like, and join the conversation in the comments below. Until then, stay curious, keep exploring, and as always, walk the path of wisdom.